Welcome back to Back Corner Comics, and today we are going to be discussing one of my favorite EC comics, specifically the war comics written by Harvey Kurtzman with illustrations of Wally Wood, Jack Davis, John Severin, Will Elder, E.T., etc. So many other artists, Alex Toth as well. Frontline Combat here is the sister publication to Two-Fisted Tales, and of course, they deal with the topic of war. And specifically, this is the Russ Cochran Slipcase reprint series that came out in the 80s. But what makes this particular one exciting to talk about is that I got this brand new. It was still in plastic when I opened it. I was originally going to do an unboxing kind of video opening it, but I was kind of apprehensive that, what if it was damaged, or what if it wasn't in the quality that they said it was, and I just didn't want to record that kind of disappointment if that was the case. But lo and behold, this is an amazing, new, perfect, condition Frontline Combat Russ Cochran slipcase. So let's look at the slipcase itself. This is really big, as you can tell, and heavy, so it's a little unruly. If you know anything about these amazing slipcase releases, you know that they are of high quality. The pages are, or the art is in black and white. So if you are not a fan of black and white art, this is definitely not for you. But for a long time, this was the definitive way. This is one of my favorite Frontline Combat covers by the great Jack Davis. But for a long time, this was the definitive way to collect EC, and they've done, they did every EC title like this, and one day we'll look at more, maybe Two-Fisted Tales. But yeah, it's essentially brand new. If you look here on the back, you know that these are typically worn, or there's some issues with them, but here it's like brand new, shiny. So happy I got this for a really good price too. I did not overpay. This slipcase in particular can go up in price. Let's take these books out. Yeah, but this particular one is a little bit more expensive. Here's volume 1. Amazing covers by the great Harvey Kurtzman. If you know Harvey Kurtzman, he was the editor of these war comics, and the writer. He also created Mad Magazine. One of the things I love about these Russ Cochran slipcases is they reprint these comics in a facsimile-like format, where you're getting the glossy front cover. You're getting all the stuff here. Later on, there's like biographies. This is a really good story right here of a submarine. Bit of a, what is it, O. Henry ending there. Bouncing Bertha is a very good one, drawn by Jack Davis. Here you have an amazing tank scene here, battle scene. My favorite so far, I actually have not read all of these. I've read through the Fantagraphics EC Artist editions, and so those don't collect all of the stories, right, in order. They collect by artist. So there's a lot of jumping around with those. Here you have Harvey Kurtzman drawing. So think about this guy's workload. He was doing these very research-intensive war comics, doing layouts for all of the other stories, and then drawing his own stories. And that level of craftsmanship is just not common. It wasn't common necessarily in comics back then, and definitely not now. And you get these great interviews, I imagine, by Russ Cochran himself with, reflections of the stories. And he's not afraid. Whoever's the interviewer, again, I'm assuming it's Russ Cochran, but whoever the reviewer is, they are pressing Kurtzman. You know, they're not afraid to tell him that they thought a story was bad. This is a good one. I believe it's called the Tin Can. So sad. Yeah, Tin Can. And that big, bold Kurtzman lettering. Very sad story. Drawn by Jack Davis. And what an honor to get this in a like-new condition. This is a pretty hardcore story about a real German officer that was sent out to the, I think, the African theater, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah, Africa. By Wally Wood. I love Wally Wood. Big Wally Wood fan. So, yeah, that's volume 1. Volume 2. There's some Civil War stories in here. There's a really good one on Stonewall Jackson. A lot of great airplane-specific stories. Alex Toth does one, I believe, in this volume. This is the volume I'm on currently. Here you have a great biography on the man himself, Harvey Kurtzman. You know, Kurtzman was a patriotic, liberal Jewish man who served in World War II. And I just think that's phenomenal. You know, he was all types of stuff. He could write humor. He could write heart-wrenching war comics. And the thing about these war comics, you know, is they really focus on humanity. I'm currently writing an article for Substack, for the Substack Backmore Comics account, on Kurtzman, specifically his war stories in here. And it is labeled Harvey Kurtzman's Love Letter to Humanity, Frontline Combat. And I think if you pick these up, or if you have read these, you kind of know that. You know what you're getting into. He just could write a human story in all this violence and all this pain. And this was in the 50s, guys. So you know that this was like the first of its kind. He was telling realistic stories in a time when realistic stories were not common. This is my favorite issue so far, Iwo Jima. All of the stories take place in Iwo Jima during the Pacific Theater in World War II, where American Marine forces and Army forces fought in the Japanese islands. And Kurtzman really goes into the geographic history and how Iwo Jima was formed. Really great stuff. Just really loved reading this. It felt like a graphic novel. It really felt like a graphic novel, through and through. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful, wonderful. Here's some Alex Toth. It still smells new, too. Look at that. Beautiful Kurtzman stuff. Some Jack Davis work. But yeah, I think I'll leave it there, guys. We'll just do a quick little look-see. And these are nice, sturdy hardcovers, too. If you've never picked up a Russ Cochran Slipcase, I recommend going out and trying to find them for a good price. They are not cheap anymore, or probably never were. I'm not sure. But they're worth whatever you're going to spend on them. I promise. Just don't spend too much, you know. There's a lot of good stuff coming out. And yeah. Oh, you also get these short stories. So it's a facsimile of the issues. Look at that beautiful Wally Wood. I'm assuming this is Wally Wood. If I'm not, let me know. No, I know it's Wally. I'm a fan, okay? I know. Look at that beautiful, beautiful work. Beautiful, beautiful work. Yeah, this is Frontline Combat, EC Comics, the Russ Cochran Slipcase reprint kind of thing. I love these, and yeah, let me know down below what you think about EC Comics, what you think about Kurtzman's work at EC Comics, what you think about that and all that stuff. I'd love to hear it. And yeah, thank you for watching. This is Frontline Combat, and yeah, have a good one. See you guys next time.